Is technology at your work distracting you from actual work? Do you spend too much time troubleshooting PC or internet issues? IT Enabled can help. Our team of IT specialists can help you tackle your technology troubles and get you focused on growing your business in no time. Call to schedule your technology consultation, 936-225-3329. IT Enabled. We're here to help.
Well, we're excited today to talk about the Leadership Lufkin Alumni Program. If you joined us last week, you got to hear about Leadership Lufkin, and today we're excited. We've got Rayanne Baker, who is one of our phenomenal volunteers of our Leadership Alumni Program, or Leadership Lufkin Program, and the alumni. And then we've got Tara Hendricks, and Tara is our Events and Engagement Director here at the Chamber. She also used to have the title of all the leadership programs, so she's worn a lot of hats and is involved. But thanks, y'all, for being here today. Yeah. So, Rayanne, why don't you give a little bit of background history about yourself, what you do on a normal daily basis?
Well, I'm Rayanne Baker. I work for American State Bank. I've been in banking 48 years, and I got involved with the Chamber probably 8-10 years ago. And when I got involved, I took off like a horse out of a race gate. I just got excited, and it's been fun and wonderful, and I enjoy everything I do.
Yeah, you've been a great volunteer. So
Thank you.
Yeah, Terry, you want to let everybody know about you?
Yeah, so I'm the Director of Events and Engagement here at the Chamber. So Business After Fives, Power Networking Breakfast, Chamber First, First Friday Luncheons, all of those things kind of come through my office.
Anything that's a party.
Well, yes, anything that involves logistics and coordination. I'm the one that try to help pull everyone in. We take Tara's vision and then try to go through and make things happen. So I also was over our leadership programs for the last couple of years, and I really enjoyed that portion. And one of the things that was a lot of fun during my time as leadership coordinator was kind of restarting our alumni program. Mm-hmm. It had been somewhat dormant, I think, the last couple of years, mainly just a fundraising opportunity, which is great. We absolutely need that for our scholarships. We talked about that a little bit in last week's segment, that some of our Leadership Lufkin participants need the scholarships at half or partial or full scholarships. And so we raise the money for that. But now we have the opportunity to get people plugged in and to bring them back for continuing education, for volunteerism, and also that networking that's so important. That's so right. Yeah, and that way everybody gets to say that they're the best class ever, which is super important.
Well, and I'm sorry that Jessica Hill couldn't be here with us. Jessica is actually our new leadership program director, but her little boy is sick today. So anyway, we're excited to have y'all. Rayanne, when did you go through the program? Do you remember?
2001.
Okay.
So what, 10, 11, I don't know. I don't have a calculator. And I'm a banker. Can you believe that? Oh, well, sorry,
that
Mark.
That would be 20 years ago.
Long time ago. But it was fun. And I would really love to go through it again. That's how much fun, because things have changed so much.
They have.
Things that I went through, the businesses and all that, a lot of them aren't here anymore. So it would be fun to go through it again. But it was an opportunity that I had when I went to work at the bank. And I thank Mark so much for it, because it changed my life.
Yeah. And then you got involved in the alumni right after that. Is that right?
I did. I've been, I guess, 6, 7, 8 years I've been with the alumni.
Okay.
And again, it was one of the best things I ever did.
So what's your favorite part of being with the Alumni Association?
Well, it's the socials that they're beginning to have now. I just find that to be so much fun and very helpful, because of course, after COVID, I felt very disconnected with so many things. And all the people that are there have gone through Leadership Lufkin. So we talk, it opens up opportunities. And I also think anybody that's been through Leadership Lufkin should really consider joining the alumni, because if you're not sure where you would fit in, when you get with this group of people, they talk and you learn what maybe they do that you didn't know you could get involved in. And I think it would be just a real good opportunity for people to join the alumni and come to those socials and just reconnect and find out what those opportunities are that you would enjoy, because I know things I've done I enjoy more than others. The Forest Festival being one of them. I could really be one of those people. So easy. I love it. But I just think it's something important. Once you've gone through the program, don't just drop out of the picture. Come back, get involved with the alumni, because they're great people, and it's a great thing for you and the chamber.
That's right. That's right.
Talk to us about the dueling pianos.
Oh my gosh!
I know this is a fun topic for you.
It
tell
is
us
a
about
fun
it.
topic. Let me tell you guys, this is one of the best parties Lufkin ever has. I tell you, we got to do it for 3 years or 4 years, and then of course COVID has eliminated that the last couple of years. But
we're hopeful that it's going to be back in
I'm
February.
hoping it will be. And I just don't know how to describe it except to say it's just amazing, and it's one of the funnest times that you'll ever have. You have 2 piano players, and they're just dueling back and forth, trying to be the best one and play the best music, and you get to request music. And I'm going to go back in time. When I was a teenager, KRBA used to have a request on Friday night. You would call in and you would request a song for somebody that you like, and you could even say from Rayanne to Randy or whatever. So you get to do this with the dueling pianos. You get to go up there and put a little request in the jar and pay a little money to do it, and they come out and do a phenomenal job and try to meet all those requests, and they do a really good job at making those requests happen.
You know, if you've ever been to Pete's Piano Bar, it's very similar to Pete's, and so it's a lot of fun. And the cool part about that night is that all of the tips that they make that night from people requesting money, or our main fundraiser that night is when they're trying to play the Aggie fight song versus the Texas song.
Oh, and don't forget the comps that year.
Yes.
The comps.
And so people are paying big money to get people up there to play songs, but all the money goes back to the scholarships. So
I think the year
really
that
nice.
the cops got up there and they danced to the music, I think we made $2,500 off those 2 policemen that night.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks, Brad Davis.
That's awesome. They need to be back in February.
Yes. I mean, it was amazing.
That's
we just
awesome.
they were so cute and such good
They were good sports. They were.
really were.
Tara, so you've been through the program. We learned a lot about Leadership Lufkin in the last episode, but tell us about the Alumni Association and why you think people need to be involved with that after they get out of the program.
It helps to continue that camaraderie that you've built, those connections. I went through the program 1920, so 2019, 2020, so just
I thought you said 1920
ago.
the first time. I was like, I don't believe you.
Not 19.
Yeah, you look great for 157.
Yes, you do.
Age well.
I want your
thank you.
secret.
So just a short time ago, but what I found, I grew up in Lufkin. I lived here, pretty much my whole life. And then we moved away for about 10 years. So coming back into the community as an adult was very different. And so meeting people, meeting connections, and the thing that I enjoyed so much from that was getting to know our other business professionals. And so there was an opportunity, lights went out, and Roger Lindsay with Encore, was in my class. And so I just texted Roger, gave Roger a call. Hey, bud, my lights are out. What do I do?
Sure you love
Who do
that.
I call? Well, and there was a fire, like the line was on fire. It was like this whole thing. And so he immediately, knew how to help. There were some medical issues and things that for family members that we needed to get taken care of and didn't really know who to call. And so one of the gentlemen in my class is with CHI or St. Luke's. And so, gave him a call. Hey, where do I start? What's the process? And so that, I think, to me has been the nicest thing about being a part of Leadership Lufkin, and that alumni continues that because it's not only your class, you're 25, but you're also making that camaraderie and connections with the other classes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so we started this year our Leadership Academy. So we do that twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And we kicked off the class with someone who attended the very first Leadership Lufkin class. So Trey Henderson came in and just talked about how Leadership Lufkin has impacted his life, his family, now his children, and they're, going through the program, and what impact it has on our community as a whole. So that was really neat to be able to sit back and think, all the families within the Lufkin area, no matter if you've lived here your whole life or you've just moved here, this program can have a positive impact with those connections and then learning about the community. Our next one coming up, I believe, attended the second Leadership Lufkin class. And so we're just kind of working through that, learning from each other, building on those connections and creating those mentorships and resources that are so important to develop. And so that's a part of that Leadership Academy that you'll get with being a member of Alumni. Also, the socials, like Ryan talked about, our summer socials, we combined those with the graduation from Leading Edge. That was also a summer social. And so the Leading Edge graduates got to meet other Leadership Lufkin alumni. So then that prompts them to want to go into Leadership Lufkin. We did our second social was combined with the Leadership Lufkin welcome reception. And so alumni got to see who the new class was going to be and who the new members. And so again, building that camaraderie, building those mentorships and relationships is really what the alumni is about.
And, Blake, you were part of Leading Edge.
I was.
You just give us a snippet of.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I hadn't considered it from the perspective that you just said. When you go through these programs, so for us, when I went through the Leading Edge program, the information was invaluable. I mean, just what we were taught, but also the networking. So we got to know each other in the class and now serve on boards with each other and work together in the community. But the great part about this program, and it hadn't dawned on me until you said that, is it lets you get outside of that 15, 20, 25 member group that you've gotten really, really close to. And then you can kind of network and connect with all of these other groups from past years. And we get to do that night at our graduation. With everybody who came from Leadership Lufkin that we got to chat with. And most of them were our mentors and things like that who came through. So that's a really cool program. I'd never thought of it that way. That's a huge, huge benefit. I mean, it makes the networking, which I've always kind of said Leadership Lufkin is kind of like what the chamber does, but on steroids as far as the networking goes.
Exactly.
It kind of just, and I joke about this and one of the great things about Leading Edge was sometimes it's good to have your hand forced a little bit into these situations that you probably wouldn't put yourself in otherwise.
Right.
So like getting on a ropes course or even like the mentorships that we did with Leading Edge. We could have very well picked up the phone and tried to call some of these people who would become our mentors. But it being, I don't want to say forced upon us, that sounds bad, but kind of put in that situation really changed a lot of our perspectives and a lot of our careers based on that. So,
well, and the cool opportunities with Leadership Lufkin Alumni, if you are a member of the alumni, you're the list that I go to first, or that Jessica, will go to first when assigning those mentors.
Yeah.
And so if that is something that you're passionate about, teaching the next generation, if business professionals, teaching all the things that you wish somebody had taught you,
Exactly.
Those are the people that we're going to go to first. And so if you're a member of the alumni, then, we're going to reach out to you and say, hey, come back and serve, teach and mentor and support. And so that's only going to build up the relationships and build up our community.
We have over 800 graduates of Leadership Lufkin.
It's amazing.
It's really cool to think about that many people have gone through the program. And like Tara said, the alumni program kind of got dormant for several years, but we're working really hard to get it back and get it going. We've dropped the price to $40, so it's $40 a year. You can come to the socials. That pays for your lunch at the Lunch and Learns with the Leadership Academy. So, there's a lot of benefit that you can get for $40 just to come back.
It's basically free at $40. I mean, you're
right.
getting the lunches and you're basically paying anything. But the ability to grow your network, growing a network is difficult to begin with, right? Especially like if you're not a super extroverted person and I'm a really extroverted person. And I am fine going to a, business after 5 and talking to random people. But even that, it's daunting sometimes to consider, how do I expand this network? And when we look at how our business has grown, that's how it's happened. I mean, we haven't spent a lot of money on ads or, run commercials, despite the fact that we make commercials, and it's grown through network. And this has been a huge light bulb moment for me, if you haven't noticed, but it's an exponential growth of your network, right? Yeah. So going through Leadership Lufkin is a fantastic network. I mean, you'll make fantastic relationships with people, but then you just exponentially grow that to everyone else for $40 a year, which is basically free. I mean, in the food and stuff that you get out of that. So I'm not an alumni, not yet. So I will be in a couple of years. Unfortunately, COVID got in the way of me attending Leadership Lufkin this past year. Right. But I'm excited about being in the class next year. And I can tell you, without a doubt, I will be a part of the Alumni Association as soon as I'm literally the day after. If you'll let me in while I'm in it, I'll go ahead and do it. That's fine. Just let me in now. We're fine. I'll come to all the classes, I promise. But that's great. That's really awesome information. So very cool.
Yeah, our alumni volunteer a lot during the year. Like Rayanne said, she is our volunteer coordinator for the Forest Festival. And so she starts calling on alumni, and she starts calling on people that she went through the program with to say, hey, come work a 2-hour shift. Come help us back. Yeah. Because it all does tie in together. And we've got great programs that we do throughout the year, and dueling pianos and all of that.
Love it. Well, awesome. Where can people find more information? So if you've been through Leadership Lufkin and you're not already a part of it, how can you learn more about doing that?
You can go to our website, type in Leadership Lufkin Alumni. You can even do that. Go to Google, type in Leadership Lufkin Alumni. Mm-hmm. It'll automatically pull up. I just did it a few minutes ago and printed out the information. There are forms there, or you can just call the chamber, 936-634-6644. Ask to speak to Jessica or myself. We can get you signed up fairly quickly. We can send you a bill. It could all be paperless if you'd like. So super, super easy. And then you're added to that email list. We send out emails to the alumni for all sorts of different things. Just you're kind of the front lines on information and things that are going on within the chamber. So a lot of times you'll get an email about an upcoming event or volunteering at an event before the event's actually, put out to the rest of our chamber investors. So it's a great opportunity, for that as well. So call the chamber or go to our website and we can get you signed up very quickly.
Please do. You won't regret it.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for your time. This is hugely educational. So if you're not already a part of this program, please go check it out. And we want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. We truly appreciate everyone who's continued to support this program. We're over 50 episodes now, which blows my mind. In the podcast world, to make it past 8 episodes is a huge, huge, huge deal. And we're getting just tremendous support from the community. If you do us a huge favor, if you'll rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening, it's a huge help to us. And just tell somebody about the podcast. So if you're listening to this, somebody who might be interested, just let them know about it. You'd be surprised how many people would love listening to what's going on in our community. So if you want to watch the video version of this podcast, you can catch it on the Chamber YouTube page and on the Chamber Facebook page. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.